Yeah, because I need LeVar to come back.
Yeah, I kind of miss LeVar.
I miss LeVar, man. Black fathers, man.
I miss LeVar, dog.
Because, like, could you imagine an NBA world where Karl Anthony Towns' dad, T. Morant, and LeVar Ball all in the... I would love that.
The big three?
Man, like, they would need
three.
to get a podcast. What's going on, everybody? It's your guy, Rag.
This is the Exec JB, and you're tuned into
the ThePrezEx podcast at ThePrezEx TV. Tune in. Salute. You got some epic before scene conversation.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the rundown. This your boy JB, the Exec. My homie brethren over here, El Presidente, Rag.
Man, y'all know what we do.
What it do, my guy?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. We had an epic I don't know. I guess this will probably come out before that one, but I mean we had an epic interview with the one and only 92.9's Jason Smith. But as you would always say, before we get into it, y'all make sure y'all hit that good like button.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Sure. Yes.
Share.
You
know, because y'all know what we do. Our views are going up. We getting close to that 40K.
Actually, we're over the 40K.
We're over
we're over the
up
40K.
Top right here.
Wow.
Bring it in. Wow. Yes, sir. 40K don't play.
40K views.
And so,
man.
JB, what is that good list that they can find us on?
Hey, you can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Stitcher.
Yes, sir.
So we got to go with this rundown, my guy.
Man, what do we got up for the rundown?
With the first thing, we got T.I. and Boosie situation now, because you know him and Vlad, you know, however South Memphis Crunchy Black said, you know what I mean? Like him and T.I. but him and Boosie have a real
good rapport,
and you know they obviously a partnership in business. They make money together off the views and stuff they get off their channels. And
because I want to say Boosie is one of those ones, like if you watch Vlad TV, I want to say it's like Boosie, and then he's had Tony A on there a lot.
Oh yeah, he's definitely
Michael Jai White is one of the ones he has on there a lot. But like Boosie is one of those ones like John Sally, you know what I'm saying? Like
and the comedian
TK Kirkland, my guy. Shout out to TK. Hey, TK.
That boy,
hey, no, TK will let you, like, you want to take a picture with TK?
Yeah.
He's not one of those celebrities like, no, TK will be like, where your camera at? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like T to the motherfucker, like he gonna snap you up.
That's true.
But Boosie's one of those guys that Vlad knows when he's on, the people are watching. Clickbait, tune in. He's gonna say some real stuff. He's talked a lot about one of our future topics coming up today. He's spoken out a lot about that because he actually talked about his daughter coming out. Yeah.
He did talk about
which a lot of people say, oh, no, what you got to say now? They thought he was going to be like, oh, well, no, he was still Boosie. So, screw you guys.
Keep the same energy. But
so going back to that, though, he and T.I. they had an album that was completed.
Yeah.
Their sons were supposed to be working on a TV show together.
Oh, they were?
Yeah. T.I.'s son, I guess the older one that's like doing music and stuff.
Artist? Okay.
Yeah, and then Boosie's son,
DeMonte or something. I think
DeMonte.
Okay.
And then Tootie, which is Boosie's son. Okay. They were kind of having like a reality show of like we got sons the same age, and they're like the little versions of us, and their antics and stuff like that. But so. Go ahead and tell the people what the situation is.
T.I. Boosie, like he said, they were coming up with an album. I heard they had 10 songs together from what I think he said on the interview. And now this is...
Oh, and he said it was going to be better than 21
and Drake. He said it was going to smoke it.
He said they wouldn't be able to see that.
He said it was going to smoke it. Now T.I. came out on this podcast. This was a while ago. That it actually happened. I heard it was maybe a year ago.
Yeah, at least a year.
Probably like a year ago or something. That T.I. on this podcast was telling a story about how him and his now past a dead cousin got into some street stuff or whatever, and his cousin ended up passing, and then that T.I. Pretty much put the charge on him and got him out the situation or less time or whatever.
It was apparently like the gun was in the vehicle. And so his cousin had passed away while the charges were still, I guess, pending or processing.
Yeah.
And so he's just like, it wasn't my gun, it was my cousin done. And unfortunately, he's gone. So,
and I think he put a story out there. He was like, he said his cousin came back and talked to him or something. He was like, he came back and talked to him and said, man, if you can pin it on me and you get away, why not? You know what I mean? And so he was like, so that's what he did. And so now, given that whole story, now if you know Boosie, all them Vlad interviews, and we know what he stand on. Ratting, snitching is not anything he wants to be around, associated with, or a part of. And so now the question was, with Vlad, was now, Boosie, since T.I. came out and said what he said about, you know, his past deceased cousin, how do you feel now, you know, since y'all coming out with this joint album? And Boosie pretty much was like, hey,
it's over with.
It's a wrap. You know, I think, you know, he didn't say, you know, he didn't say anything too bad about T.I., but like if he said, if it's true, he a rat too. You know, he not going, you know, holding the punches or doing anything like that. He just like, but he also said he didn't believe that T.I.
really did. He think he was just doing it to kind of push clickbait, I guess, for a podcast.
And then was like, he didn't know why he even would say that. At this point in time, like T.I. a little bit, our age, a little bit older. It's like at this point, why would you even say something?
Right.
You know, on your public forum or platform to put that out there, given that you know that you in business with Boosie and how he feels about the whole rat situation or whatnot. And so
that goes back to, do snitches really get stitches? Go back to season one.
That's season
old
one.
School episode.
That's season one right there.
How do you feel about that?
Honestly, it's hard for me not to go with Boosie, but I heard T.I. was, I think that same day, T.I. was on some other audio platform or podcast, and he was basically said he's gonna send the paperwork to Boosie about the whole situation. That the way T.I. put it out there was like he was tongue and cheeking it in that podcast. It was like he
kind of
was
embellishing a little bit,
kind of telling a story,
right?
And I went back and listened to it, and I was like, it could be, but again, like to
the
Boosie's
optics
point,
of it.
Yeah, it's just like, why would you even say that? You know, given that you in business with Boosie doing that, and then, but also, you know, T.I. was like, well, I'm not, you know, I don't feel like I need to. I don't care what other people think. You know, either if I'm your boy and I'm your guy, you know, you hit me up privately and do that stuff. But now I do believe like Boosie, he kind of already kind of deep into it as far as him standing 10 toes down to what he believed. And so I think the way Boosie, I don't think he can go back and be like, let's do this album. Or this can be a GOAT marketing ploy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To be like, all this stuff go out for another 3-4 months and then bam, drop.
Yeah.
You know? But I think
did you watch the video or the interview that he did with Vlad?
I watched the 2 segments that he did talking about it. I didn't watch this whole interview. I don't know if that's still out. Is it?
No. It's the, you know, okay. Vlad chopped that joint up.
Yeah, I seen.
Have us on, by the way, DJ Vlad.
Yeah. I saw the 2 segments that he had, maybe 3 or 4 minutes each.
Nigga, when Boosie come on, like I said, Boosie, John Sally, Michael J. White, that interview finna have like 57 parts to it. It's finna be like Hines. That John finna be Hines 57.
But I don't get it. I don't get it to like businessman. Now, let's look at this in the real life now, okay? Boosie is Boosie, right? Boosie ain't. I don't think he's running the streets at this point. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's active like he was in the streets. You know what I mean? T.I. the same way.
Right.
Now, I'm not from the hood. I'm not from the gang. I'm not a gangster, nothing like that. So I can't speak to maybe how he feel or how he grew up. But I'm just looking from a business term, from an executive mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's business. I don't necessarily agree with, you know what I'm saying, how you handled your business. But if we got a fire project, a fire album that can actually we can capitalize on and do what we need to do, why not do that?
So, segueing, Speaking of which, you need to go on and put out another Preacher Man podcast. I'm just saying, because it's not competing. It's not competing. Like, this is a whole multimedia conglomerate. Like, this is a whole, like, so that's just, like, so if what we're doing is the hand, then you got, like, the ThePrezEx is a finger. You got Preacher Man, which is, you see what I'm saying? Like, so we need that. That expands the brand, because you're going to have people that's going to say, oh, he's got another one. Let me hear what he got. So one hand wash, the other both wash. So I'm just saying, you got a fire project.
It's coming.
You need to put that out.
It's coming.
But no, so like, and I get what you're saying. Mm-hmm. From a business standpoint, if you do have this project that you can spend money on, you got to record it. Don't take the L.
Yeah.
It's a slippery slope.
It is.
Because if you understand, because Boosie actually said on one part of it, he was like, he said when the allegations were coming out, he said his uncle called him.
He did, yeah.
And he's like, man, uncle called me. That album ain't coming out, right? Like, it was like, so, and then he talked about actually, like, with him, he said the reason why he was in jail, he said because somebody was a rat. And he said it wasn't like he was actually involved, but it's just like you're being around. You're throwing my name in just because you got caught. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I didn't have none, like, regardless of whether I was around or I knew, like, you put my name in just to get yourself out of a jam. Yeah. And so now I'm on, and he was on death row.
His
Boosie was. Boosie, okay, like, when he was in jail, he was on death row.
He was, yeah.
He actually got off of death row, and you know that's hard to get off of. And so I get. Yeah. And then he even said, like, man, when you snitch on somebody because you got caught, like, think of the movie we talked about, our boy CB's and his acting ability, but the movie Takers. Like, and it's funny because T.I.'s character and what he eats yourself. So you mad at us, you got caught. Yeah. It's like you knew what this was. When we left the job, everybody we went our direction. You got caught.
You get caught.
It's like we still held you down. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had your money and everything when you came out. It's like, but
it took his girl though.
Yeah, he was in there for like what, 7 years.
He was in there for a minute.
You get 2 years, nigga. After that, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, legally, I want to say if they haven't seen you for like 2 years, like, they can declare you legally dead. So like,
they weren't married though.
But and I want to say he was supposed to do more time than what he did. Like, he got out early, so he wasn't getting out. Like, you know.
But is it really? Is it snitching though? If your cousin,
like I said, I get, and that's why I said it's slippery.
It is,
because it's one of those things of like if you're in school and like you got a homeboy, you know he's moving. You know what I'm saying, to Hawaii. Mm-hmm. And so, like, they find these firecrackers or something, or they find some weed, like, oh, that was Billy's. They can't do nothing to Billy. Billy live in Hawaii. They not finna go all the way to Hawaii and prosecute Billy. Right. So you just say that just to, nobody gets in trouble now. You know, I understand that. Yeah. But on the flip side, and we've told this story before, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and Sel definitely could speak on this because he was hit there. The statute of limitation is passed now. I can tell on myself, but when I had that situation in middle school where I glued all the stuff to the shop room table, and I'm telling on me, nigga, that statute of limitation passed. You know what I'm saying? But like, we had a teacher that was picking on everybody, and so my homeboy was about to get in trouble. I'm like, don't worry about it, I got it, and I proceeded to glue everything down with the good wood glue, right? So he would. When our class left, he was on his free period, then his lunch break. Mm-hmm. So it's like 2 hours that glue to sit. So when the next class come in, they can't pick nothing. I'm talking about hammers, everything. I glued the grade book to his desk. So like, he didn't know who did it. And so it was one guy who was like, oh, it was Roche. Like, you didn't see me do nothing, but you wanted me to do. So they asked Sel and they asked my other homeboy. And what they said was, I can't speak for Roche. You're going to have to ask Roche. Whatever Roche say, that's what happened. Right. So you know what I was going to say.
Right.
First of all, I'm not finna tell on myself, and if you ain't got it on camera, I ain't do it. And so, and even my dad knew both of them. My dad was like, hey, y'all can tell me. Did he do it? And so they both was like, well, what did Roche say? He's like, well, he said he didn't do it. It's like, well, that's what happened. So now again, and my dad asked him, like this happened when I was in the 7th grade. My dad asked him in the 8th grade and in the 9th grade. Right? 2 years later, I wasn't finna give the ass one for that. It's like, okay, you can tell me. They was like, what did he say he did? He's like, man, he said he won't say nothing. He's like, oh, well, that's what happened. So being somebody who experienced something like that, I understand that optic of I'm taking it to the grave. And I was always one, if we do something and I get caught, I don't know who that was. Who's that with you skipping class? I don't know that nigga. We both just happen to be walking the same way. Yeah. I see y'all together all the time. Well, I guess we might have some class together, but I don't know who that is. Like, I don't pay attention like that. I don't even really want to be here. And they would tell me stuff like, okay, if you tell on the person who was with you skipping, you won't get suspended. You know, you might well go and suspend me.
Yeah.
And I had the principals tell me, like, you know what? It ain't too many people like you, because most people would throw their friend under the bus. Like, you're a loyal dude. And I'm like, but if I go back and tell my dad, now keep in mind, the Rev, the minister, the elder, if I go back and tell my dad that I told on somebody, I'm getting it worse from him. And keep in mind, he do everything by the book. Mm-hmm. But my daddy taught me not to snitch. So I understand where Boosie is coming from, because even though technically his cousin ain't getting in trouble, but you still putting dirt on his name and you got caught. So like I said, it is slippery, because technically he ain't gonna come back and be like, damn, nigga, you got me caught up. Like, it ain't making his kids look bad or nothing like that. I understand that part, right. But I also understand the part of growing up with that code of, if I was dumb enough or unfortunate enough or whatever to get caught, I'm gonna eat that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, it's difficult. I kind of see both sides of it, but I can't speak to Boosie, like, because nowhere deep in the street like he is. Like he said, he got the uncle that's obviously part of the game, but OG in the game, and so, like I said, he probably so deep into it to where he can't do it. But somebody like me, that's, you know what I'm saying, I didn't grow up gang affiliated and doing all this and stuff, and so it's like, if somebody is passed, it's like, or if you, like, if some unfortunate situation happened when we were younger, and then, you know, we was in it and you passed, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you knew the Lord, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
I mean, but see, like me, like, I saw somebody get killed once. And it's like, I ain't see shit.
Yeah.
And so now at this point, hell, that's been 20 years ago now, but like at this point, prove I was there. You got me on camera there, you know what I'm saying? You got a GPS location on my phone there or whatever. You can pinpoint my location. Do you even know who I'm talking about? Yeah. Am I even making this up? What Black say the other side is rag line. If you can prove it, then fine, we'll have a conversation. But like when it came back, I didn't see nothing. I ain't know nothing. Didn't involve me. I was just around at the wrong place at the wrong time doing something I ain't had no business doing. Mm-hmm. But like I'm like how me and you this close to get that's how close I was to it. Mm. And so, but again, going back to how I was we first moved back to Memphis. The first thing my dad told me when we came back, before I started school, before I started 4th grade, he said, the one thing you do not want to be is a snitch. If you do something and you get caught, you own it. Don't matter who was with you. You eat that by yourself. If you got caught by yourself, you eat it by yourself. Mm-hmm. And even if you get caught with everybody else, you can't speak for nobody else. Only speak for you. Don't speak for nobody else. So like I said, and this, again, like I said, this coming from a reverend, a minister. So if I got that, because even though he's that, you know, like my dad, 1101 Saxon Avenue, like that's South Memphis all day. It's still there. But that's how he was raised. Right. You see what I'm saying? So I completely understand Boosie. I'm not saying that T.I. is wrong, but I completely understand.
If it happened, because even T.I. saying this, he didn't even mean it like that. That didn't actually went down like that. It was tongue in cheek and whatever else. So
when you had your situation, did you snitch?
Oh no, not at all. Not at all. Like I wouldn't.
So if you would have faced the charges that was being put on you, you would have eaten that by yourself.
It would have been rough, but at that point in time, I would say yeah.
Why didn't you feel? I'm saying, why didn't you feel the need to snitch then when you got put in that situation?
I mean, because I chose where to hang out at and who I was with and what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And it was my idea.
Accountability. Then.
Yeah.
Responsibility and accountability.
Right. So, but at that time, no wife, no kids, no, anything. I graduated already. Yeah, I already graduated college. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think I would, but like in this situation now, where I'm in now, it would be tougher because I have a whole lot more to lose or to be away from, But for me, I stand on business, but I don't stand on no little street code or nothing like that. I just stand on, look, if I made the decision, you know what I'm saying, to be at a certain place, certain time, and if I had something in mind to do dirt or to do something like that, I got to take, my responsibility for it. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's different if, like, let's just say we here now, and I come over and I leave a bag over here, and the bag got some guns or some dope or whatever, and I just so conveniently leave it up here. I don't say nothing to you, and then police, next thing you know, you getting a knock on your door being kicked in, they telling everybody hands up. Your kids crying and everything like that. They come, oh, we got this bag. If you was to say that ain't my bag, that's Roche bag, I can't even be mad. It ain't like I asked you to hold the bag. I ain't even tell you it's up here. I set you up essentially.
Right. So that'd be different. Like, yeah,
that's completely different.
Right, for sure. Yeah.
But now, if me and you we plan to rob a bank, we rob the bank successfully.
You can
we
leave
get away.
Up here.
No. So let's say we both get away. It was like, hey man, don't spend no money for like a month. Don't spend this money. The next day, you out there, you in the shake, you making it rain, you done bought a new car, you done went and you know what I'm saying, you done opened up 3 or 4 trust funds for the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like you done bought a new house. And then now it's like, okay, where'd you get this money from? Somebody who fits your description, we can't quite tell, but like with the fact that this person kind of look like you, and then you spending all this money, you can't justify it. Tomorrow, like, and the next day you spending this money, like, come on in, and you're like, oh well, it wasn't just me, it was Roche. That's completely different.
Yeah, right.
That right there is snitching. Because I'm over here chilling, I'm back at work delivering mail, and you out here making it rain, and then you gonna snitch on me because you out here, you can't, you don't know how to keep your wallet closed.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And so, like I said, I understand the whole snitching part of I got busted, so now I don't want to go down by myself. So I'm going to take you down with me.
Right.
And that's kind of like, we talked about like with R. Kelly and all them, like R. Kelly got caught, and everybody, oh, what about Harvey Weinstein? And what about the parents?
Right.
Nigga, didn't nobody tell you to put yourself on video?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you say that now, you know what I'm saying? All right, let you walk in there and he fucking your daughter and you see what happened. And see if you got that same energy.
Yeah.
He giving your daughter STD or some shit like that, and then now you like, oh, okay, keep that same energy because I see some of y'all when y'all post on Facebook about don't talk about a child predator then. If you support R. Kelly, don't talk about no child predator.
Right. Yeah. And it's a lot of people
because they just not talented. They just can't sing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you should support child predators. You should be for that. You should be for pedophiles. You see what I'm saying? Like, so again, if you for snitching, keep that same energy when somebody snitch on your ratchet son. Keep that same energy.
Yeah. Don't
talk about people not being loyal. Keep that same energy when somebody snitch on your son or your daughter or whatever. When they do some stuff, somebody get caught with weed. Somebody that when they say your daughter was the one who brought the weed because they stole it from your stash. Keep that same energy.
For true.
And play R. Kelly while you doing it. While watching the Harvey Weinstein movie and listening to a Bill Cosby comedy album.
Next on the rundown.
I'm having too much fun. Oh, yeah. With the flim and the... Nah, let me stop.
Jalen Rose.
Oh.
The Fab Five.
And I love J. Rose.
I love J. Rose, too, man. I think he's a solid dude. Jalen Rose said that to get a quality haircut, one should spend at least, at a minimum, $100. Bruh. And he said it with his chest, and he had an Instagram Live where he articulated his whole viewpoint on it, which I see it to a degree just because he's bigging up the importance of the value in our community for a haircut, which is true. Like we grew up in barbershops, the barbershop talk, and I heard somebody say this before, the barbershop talk when we grew up is now kind of like the group chat.
Yeah.
Now, you know what I'm saying? But we had to go Saturdays or whatever day you went just to get into the banter, to talk, see what was going on in the neighborhood or around Memphis State basketball or whatever. And so it's valuable in the black community. And prices have gone up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? As far as the haircut wise. The reason I know because I have 3 boys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that issue. You know what I'm saying? I do my own thing. You know what I mean? You pretty much.
As do I.
Right. So I get it. So I know haircuts now are very high. But when you think of a haircut, bro, like $100 minimum. And this would be different. I look at prices as different, right? So if I'm paying for $100 for something, like I need that junk to last me like at least a month.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no haircut gonna last you
2 weeks.
2 weeks,
Yeah,
maybe
2 weeks.
Depending on how your hair grow.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
After 5 days, your junk gonna just be bleeding out. You know what I'm saying? You gonna be having them little. Tobias has like called the widow.
Oh, what's it called? The Eddie Monster.
Yeah.
The widow's peak.
That junk like that, the widow's peak, right? Just like that. After about 5-6 days, you see what I'm saying? So it's like
I'm gonna enjoy it while it lasts.
You know,
you keep living.
Hey, so it's like $100 minimum. I think he's talking from his tax bracket. You know, I think he has a school. I think in the hood in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has. I don't think he'll be saying that to them or the parents of that school and doing that. So I think he's talking to a different class of a person. So I think, he was, talking to them, but then it sounded insensitive to me just because, I mean, I pay about, for my boys' head, they about $20 a head. You know what I mean? At this point.
So you at least spending anywhere between $60 and $75 just to get 3 heads cut.
Right. You talking about that plus a tip, right? Give them a few dollars tip.
That's why I said between 60 and at least minimum 60,
right.
But between 60, 75, $80.
Now, but I don't think he was talking about a group rate. I don't think he talking about one person. And so I think that's way overhead to be putting on $100 minimum, because I would say this, when I went to Phoenix and was in Corey's wedding, I did go get a chop up. They put the cream on your head, the steam. They did the face. They do massage, did all this stuff.
Okay.
And that cost me it was a good service. It cost like $65, $70.
Okay. But you got all of that though.
I got all that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like, depending on what involves in a haircut, but just a haircut period.
I would say you got some. Never mind.
I
know you didn't.
Man, talking about no.
We not. No, that didn't happen.
No.
This is a family show.
It's a family show, supposedly, maybe. But yeah, it's $100 minimum, bro. I think, it's especially in the climate that we're in and the financial climate is now. I don't think anybody is paying $100. Now I got the essence of what he's trying to say, the value of a good haircut, and he made a good point. And actually, what he was saying, he was like, you pay $35 for somebody to do your haircut. When you get there, you made a schedule. When you get there, somebody in the chair all ready for your appointment. Which I agree with that. A couple times, more than a few occasions, I done paid $20 up front to already have my stuff scheduled. Yeah. And by the time we get there, somebody in the thing, I got to wait anher
and actually
15, 20 minutes.
Episodes y'all haven't seen coming, but Jay Smith actually talked about this.
He did.
Jason Smith, 92.9.
Yeah.
ESPN. But he talked about how he got his current, how he got his barber, and it was because, like you said, the person who he had is like, I come in, I got an appointment, but I got to wait behind 10 people. Like this other guy, he dusting his chair off. He ain't got nobody. You know what? Let me try him out. Right, yeah. And then now he done built that rapport up. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
So it can happen, but $100 minimum for a haircut in today's climate for your everyday, person, it would be worth it. Like you said, if a haircut would last you 3 or 4 weeks, You know what I'm saying? If it lasts you 3 or 4 weeks.
I mean, I'd say if it lasts 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Even 2. If it lasts you a legit 2 and on day number 15 you started to see a little BDB come around. But like, because if you break that down, 15 going to 100 6 times, a little bit, about 6.5 times. So, because 15 times 6 is 90. So, essentially, essentially it would be like about $6.50 a day.
Yeah.
So like that. So because if you went somewhere and they say, "Oh, I'll cut your hair for $6.50," you'd be, "Oh yeah, bet." So essentially, $6.50 a day for 14, 15 days.
Yeah.
That means twice a month. Because most of the time, most people now they getting their haircut every week or every other week. You know what I'm saying? So really, essentially every like maybe 12 days they're getting it cut.
Yeah. And and 2. It's it's coming.
That's
from
people with hair problems.
It's coming from his perspective, right?
I don't have those problems.
Like Jalen is on TV every day, so it's probably worth it to have a $100 minimum for a haircut to somebody that's going millions of people seeing your hairline every day. You know what I mean? Like at this point, like for me, I'm working at home for the most part. I may be in the office more now.
Yeah.
So it's like if I'm at home, I don't really care about no.
Right.
And I'm married, you know what I'm saying? I don't really care about no edge up. I ain't going to the club every week.
Yeah.
Or getting out like that. So
only thing I'm paying for, and my cousin lines me up. Shout out, J Hall, the hallway. And it's crazy because when I had hair, B Hall, and I said this before, B Hall was chopping me.
Yeah.
When I grew it out, Tracy was braiding me. And then now, Jay lined me up. So like I done had, big bro, sister, little bro, but
had the legacy.
he don't really charge me. Like he charged me $16 to like, line me up, do this head like you do that, clip my ends and everything like that. I pay him $25.
And you like the service.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So he charged me $16, I pay him $25.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like then granted people could be like, "Oh man, you should pay more than that." Okay, well, I mean, I'm living on a regular nigga salary.
Yeah.
But I believe in
paying your.
You know what I'm saying? Tipping. Like I went somewhere. My cousin, one of my other cousins, had a birthday dinner the other night, so we went out. You probably see me post one of the pictures. Because I actually dressed up. I don't really be wearing dress up. Huh? Yeah, no, I dressed up. But like my ticket was like the place with my ticket was like $120. I left like a $30 tip. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. but I feel like okay, 10% of $120 is $12. 20% would be $24. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm gonna leave about a little over 25% tip of, and a person like he wasn't phenomenal, but he did what he was supposed to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. And so like I get the tipping part. And again, I'm not always in a position to do it, but when I am,
right,
I do. But make this go viral. Jalen, I know you come to Memphis when the Grizzlies play sometimes. I know you like barbecue. Okay? So y'all make this go viral. Oh, we passed 40K, don't play. Y'all need to hop on the train. Because right now, as a matter of fact, I need to hop on the plane. We ain't actually in the sky yet, but we on the runway. And we like going like about, 100 miles an hour down the runway.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's about to take off. Some of y'all about to miss out.
Yes.
But y'all make this go viral. So Jalen, when you're in the Memphis area, please hit us up. We will gladly have you on to discuss this or anything else you would like to talk about. For this particular topic, and I would like some more clarification, because if you're saying everybody should pay $100, I think you're full of it.
Yeah.
And Jalen, I rock with you the long way.
Yeah.
I rock with you from when you was on the joint with the Podfather, when you used to have a baseball bat. And you was telling Jalen's true stories. Like, I go back to Fab Five, Jalen, when you dropped, I can't remember how many you scored, but when they were hollering that you were a drug dealer and you, man, served their ass, Fab Five, Jalen. When you played for the Nuggets, Jalen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you played with Chris Jackson / Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, Jalen.
Yeah, he did.
When you went to Indiana, like, I rock with Jalen. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of the reasons I cut my hair off when I was in high school,
Fab Five?
Jalen. Okay. Yeah, the Fab Five, but like Jalen was my favorite player.
Yeah.
Okay, like I love J Rose. So, but on this, I got to I got to hard disagree with you. If you're saying that everybody needs to do it.
Yeah.
Now, if you're saying that based on your level of income or based on your exclusivity, based on what you're asking from your barber, should you do the best of your ability? Because like I said, he can pay, because again, he paying $100 and you're flying your barber out.
Yeah.
You're paying for the access.
Yeah.
If I want you to drop everything that you're supposed to do for me, then yeah, I get that. I don't have no problem with that. But if you're just saying the regular John Doe on the street, somebody that's, working at McDonald's, somebody that's, we both done worked at FedEx, decent money, but like not $100 haircut money. You know what I'm saying? Now again, because haircuts now minimum $25, $25. So like, if I'm trying to get a premium and I'm expecting you to be premium, then could I do for $25? Could I do 40? I think that's fine. I think that's reasonable. I don't think no barber would be mad at you if they charge you 25 and you gave them 40.
Yeah, it depends on your lifestyle.
You know what I'm saying? Bro. Right. And again, if Yo Gotti coming through to get chopped up, I'm expecting Yo Gotti to do a little bit more than the person at FedEx. I'm expecting Mayor Harrison to do a little bit more than I'm expecting Penny to do a little bit more than that. But now the guy is, you know what I'm saying, 4 kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And again, you make good money, but like you got 4 kids and you want to come too?
Right. No.
And you got a dog, because you got 3 of your sons get chopped, and you got a dog, and they hair different.
Very different. All
because wait till you start having to buy hair, nigga. Like I'm at that stage where I'm like having to buy, like I'm getting calls like I need to buy some hair and then nails, and
I be buying the wifey
like,
hair.
When you start getting nails like that, you just shut up. No, we don't do that. But I'm just saying, so I don't think that if you're holding everybody accountable to that, I don't think that's no. But I think you should do, and this is just me, but anything under, I would say $100, I'm gonna tip at least $10 to $15. Mm-hmm. If it's over $100, then I try to do between $20 and $30 tip. Mm-hmm. But again, that goes for, because it'll be a time where I may not have it. I got a lot of bills this week. Car note, rent, MLGW, alarm, phone bill, grocery, all of that hit.
Don't bring that MLGW.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you know me, so I don't have nobody at the crib when I be gone, so I got everything be off.
They be on another level with that.
But you'll have a week where you done paid all your bills. Mm-hmm. So I ain't got that extra 20 to tip you. I may only have 5 to tip you. But you're going to remember every other time, man, you tip me $15, $20. So if you tip me $5 this time, I ain't nigga, you good. You got equity. Cause it's gonna come back around. It's gonna be a time when you fat, and then you can tip that $20, $25. Mm-hmm. But I do feel like that when somebody does a good, impeccable service, you should do whatever your best is. Right. And everybody's best, my best may be 100. Your best may only be 50. Mm-hmm. But as long as I know, man, you're showing me, hey, man, I appreciate what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. So Jalen, y'all make this go viral. I know JB, when he do the editing, he gonna short this. Make this go viral, Jalen. I want you to respond to your guy, ThePrez.
Talk to us.
Who been following you since your Michigan days. Even when you played back in Detroit with Howard Isley and Vashawn Leonard when y'all won state. Okay? I messed with you the long way, Jalen. Yeah. So I need you to respond to me, Jalen. Respond to the ThePrezEx TV. So y'all make that go viral. What we got next, JB?
We talked about this on the rundown maybe a few weeks ago now. We were talking about the Darius Miles alleged capital murder situation. Now
not the Darius Miles that used to play for the Clippers.
Not the knucklehead.
And I thought it was he was related to him, but he's not. He has no relation to that Darius Miles.
They don't look alike at all.
He's tall, he long like him, but he's extremely light skinned.
Oh yeah.
And Darius Miles is
he pitch black.
Well, just to say is
he a little bit darker than me.
What do Q Richardson say? Me and the blackest one. He calls Darius Miles, and I'm like, hey. No shade, Darius Miles that dude, but yeah, Darius Miles don't lose in hide and seek.
He dark. No, he don't at all. He's actually.
I heard Michael Blackson say, he said they was checking him. He said, "You so black, you don't never have a bright idea." I was like, wow,
Yeah.
hit me. He said, man, they said you're under the bed, Black. And this, hey, look, y'all don't try to cancel us, okay? Don't do it. Y'all got better stuff to do.
Darius
with y'all time.
Miles make me look a little light.
Yeah,
You know
but
what
no,
I mean?
I miss Darius Miles. I
Which is
love
cool.
Darius Miles.
Black is beautiful.
Number
Black is
3
beautiful.
overall pick in
Number
'99.
3. Yep. Now, and coming from the Darius Miles, now his teammate Brandon Miller,
Who plays for Alabama?
Who played for Alabama. He is a lock to be a top 5 lottery pick in this year's
sophomore.
He's a freshman.
Oh, he's a freshman.
He coming from Nashville. So he comes from the
sure?
Ville. Yeah, he comes from the Ville.
Because I thought I read something, so it must have been somebody else who transferred.
Yeah, he a freshman. So this is what happened. So we knew Darius Miles shot Mrs. Harris. I can't think of her first name. Miss Harris shot her. She's passed. But doing that, before that whole situation, Brandon Miller drove Darius Miles to the club. He left there, went to go eat with some friends or whatever. Darius Miles then texts or got in touch with Brandon Miller saying basically like, hey, I need the strap in the back of the car. And so Brandon like, hey, all right, I'm on the way. So he gets up there. Obviously, I think Darius went in the back of the car, got the gun, and then I guess the rest is history. We know what happened in the unfortunate situation when a young lady got shot and she died. And so this is where I'm coming from this situation, Rag. Given all the variables in the situation, do I believe Brandon Miller should be arrested along with Darius Miles? No, I do not. I don't believe he should be arrested or anything like that. If that's not what the law says, you know what I'm saying? Legally keep him out. I'm with that. I'm cool with that. Now, where I do have an issue with is the Alabama coach and the University of Alabama, because now, we're not dealing with a car accident or some situation. A young lady lost her life. Okay? She lost her life. You know what I'm saying? She had a couple small children, I believe. They don't have a mother anymore. So if legally you can't do anything to Brandon Miller, as a coach of Alabama or the university, to save face or just to, put a good image out there, like to be like, okay, this is bigger than this sport, bigger than this athletic department, bigger than all this stuff. I need to sit him down for a few games. You know what I'm saying? Just to show, although legally I don't think he's, involved or should be involved, but as a university, as a city in Tuscaloosa, I believe that we should show, compassion for this family that lost. Even though we don't believe Brandon should be legally a part of it, I think we should, not suspend him for the whole season or nothing like that, but just sit him down 2 or 3 games or so to be like, okay, this is a serious situation. I think we need to at least sit him down to show the family, okay, we're just not, just turning your back on and just looking like we're being insensitive about the situation. So that's where I'm coming from. And I think Brandon shouldn't be legally involved unless the law says that or however that works, which I don't know how that is in Tuscaloosa. But when I say all the variables as well, you got to look at this. Alabama basketball is a top 3 basketball team in the nation right now. Mm-hmm. Brandon Miller is their number 1 player. Clearly, I think he almost averaging 18, 19 points a game. Like I said before, he's a top 3, top 5 definite pick in this NBA draft coming up this summer. And also, they're a favorite to be in their first Final Four as a basketball, organization or a basketball team. Right. So to think all those variables don't play a part in the Tuscaloosa police dragging their hand on the situation or putting that, I think to me would be ignorant. But I think that legally, whatever, don't mess with the kid like that. If it, just like I think we was off camera, you brought a situation up. It's like, hey, just leave him alone. Don't drag everybody down the mud with it, especially if he wasn't involved like that, because like you said, he didn't know what was going to happen or what I was going to do. But as a university, as a coach, even a coach, to me has been insensitive, because they say they knew about this whole situation in the beginning weeks ago when the Darius Miles stuff came out. So you knew about all this. You could have set him down a couple of games, got it on over with, in my view. But you kept him out there. You keep putting him in these games, and it looks bad. It looks like you're being insensitive to that family because he was indirectly a part of the murder of your daughter or your niece or whoever she was to you. And so my thing is just sit him down for a couple games, a few games, and you'll still be in the hunt going into the tournament, but you at least show the university and the family like, we see you.
So I'm reminded, and again, last clip, go viral, Jalen Rose, I'm reminded of that situation where he was in a place, he was back home, and he's with people that he grew up with.
You talking about Jalen?
Jalen Rose.
Okay.
And the police raided, and he's just around.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have any drugs on him. He's not serving anybody. He ain't got a bunch of money on him. He's in the crib playing Super Nintendo or Nintendo, whatever they was playing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's like, oh, Jalen Rose in the trap house and da-da-da-da, and he should be just around.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes back to like we were having this conversation off camera. Like it's like somebody is being a serial killer. Is Jeffrey Dahmer's mom and dad responsible? Should they go to jail because they had sex and he was born? And if dad never would have busted that nut, then Jeffrey Dahmer would have been born to kill a bunch of people. It's like that's the kind of. And again, first of all, any loss of life is tragic. Even somebody that's on death row for killing 100 people, because somebody loves that person.
Yeah.
Any loss of life is tragic. An innocent young lady who did not want to be bothered, who is like, look, I got a boyfriend, I don't want to talk to you, or just get out of my face. Mm-hmm. If that was her position, that's tragic. And if Darius Miles is guilty, even if that ain't why he did it, if he's responsible, he should get whatever they're giving to him. Whatever the consequences for that, he should get that. But like, who's next? Are they going to get Smith & Wesson or whoever made the gun next because they made the gun? Whoever made the bullets, oh, y'all wouldn't have made the bullets then. No, whoever pulled the trigger made a decision. They should have to pay for that.
Right.
And to me, it's kind of one of those situations where it's like the Joker in The Dark Knight. You just want to see the world burn. It's like, oh, I lost my daughter. Everybody got to burn. Alabama got to burn. Darius Miles got to burn. Well, who drove the car? They got to burn. Who gave him the gun? They got to burn. Who made the gun? They got to burn. Like, and I've said this before. I said this about the Kyrie Irving thing. Like, I'm not apologizing for anything I didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave the analogy like where if I hit you up and say, hey, JB, I'm in a jam. Y'all got 2 vehicles. I need to use your car. And you my guy.
Yeah.
You're not going to ask me a question. Nah, I ain't going to lie. When I've asked you for certain stuff, you do ask me. But I'm just saying, like, it's been some times where I be like, hey, can I do that? Can we change this? Do that? You don't even ask. You be like, all right, bet. So now if I take your car and drive it into Popeyes or Bojangles or wherever else around here and I kill some people, that's like them coming for you. Oh, JB gave him the car. He should bet. No, you were letting a friend use a car. You were looking out for your boy. You didn't know why I needed the car. And if I would have told you, hey, JB, I'm about to drive into Popeyes and kill 5 people, you probably wouldn't have gave me the car.
Right.
If it was Brandon Miller's gun or he had access to the gun and Darius Miles or whoever said, hey, I'm about to shoot somebody, because she said, no, I don't think he would have. But I've been in a situation where, and you're familiar, had a situation happen where I was violated. And a couple of my homeboys was like, didn't ask no questions. Was this random or was it somebody out to get you? Here you go. You don't need to be caught out here naked. They didn't ask no questions. Mm-hmm. Now, fortunately, I didn't have to use. Yeah. But I've been in a situation where if I say, hey, this happened to me, and some people are like, hey, you know what? Don't even worry about it. We got you. You met a couple of the people. You're like, we got you. Don't even worry about it, Shay. We got you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, we got ready to shoot, I believe it was season 2. Mm-hmm. And I came and we at the park and y'all like, man, what you got? Like, what you got all that Hollywood for? It's like, man, nah, this just happened.
Right.
But people looking out for me.
Right.
Didn't have to use it. But they didn't ask no questions. So again, you've been in some situations. You let me use stuff. You let me do stuff. You didn't ask quick. You looking out for your boy.
Yeah.
So again, the young lady who lost her life is tragic. A child's got to grow up without their mother is doubly tragic. We got enough of that in the black community as it is. Whoever is guilty needs to pay. But this idea that everybody got to burn is stupid. This idea that I got to apologize for something I didn't do, like what they tried to do with Kevin Hart for old jokes. You know what I'm saying? What they tried to do with Kyrie, buck breaking. Like, this idea has got to stop. If I do something, I should pay the penalty for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and does he need to release a statement? But again, like, I don't know. A good show. I know I put you on. We talked about The Wire. I don't know if you remember in season 1, the maintenance man got killed. And so the police tried to get D'Angelo. They was like, why don't you write a letter to his kids and you apologizing? And what the lawyer and Stringer, you know, where I got the name from, what they tell D'Angelo, why are you writing a letter and you didn't do nothing to that dude?
Yeah.
You writing a letter saying you feel sorry makes you look guilty. So don't apologize. If you did not do that, if you didn't have no knowledge of that, you don't write no letter apologizing. What you apologizing for? You apologize because you did something.
Yeah.
And so again, I get what you're saying. It does, if I'm already triggered and I'm seeing this guy out here playing, I feel some type of way because I lost my baby. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm seeing you, it's almost like a slap in the face. And then I don't know if you saw the thing, it was one, I don't know if it was a starting lineup or something where he came through.
Pat him down.
And he kind of did like the Ocho Cinco and TJ Hushmanzada when they played at Oregon State. Yeah. Where like they were saying they was thugs and they scored a touchdown, and then TJ like patted Ocho that like kind of throwing salt on the wound. Like that's too soon.
Too soon.
But again, if I didn't do it, now and you got son, would you tell your son to apologize to somebody in school and they didn't do something? No, you wouldn't. No. Be like, my son ain't got to get up and apologize in front of everybody, and he didn't do it.
Yeah,
and that's all I'm saying. And being somebody. Well, heck, we might be old enough for him to be our son, actually. But we could have a son, you see what I'm saying, in that position. Like, I'm not going to tell my son to apologize for something he didn't do. And that's all I'm saying. And I know I went, but I'm.
Yeah. I don't think he needs to apologize at all. I just, I don't, I think the coach is kind of using this because this is his chance to win a national title.
And the publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but why do you think he needed to sit him down, though?
Just for the optics and just because, like I said, for the respect of the family. Because although legally, it just looks bad. If you just look at the story, you look at kind of what happened. Like, he knew it was a gun in the back of the car. He went back and gave him so he can get the gun in the back of the car. Like I said, legally, whatever. Like, if they say he don't need to be charged because of, X, Y, and Z, that's fine. But as a university, as a player, in the player, it's like, you care about the kid. And so, I want to, pay homage or respect to, once the information became public, at least. You know what I'm saying? At least, okay, just sit them out this particular game or these next 2 games just to show that, okay, we know the situation was going on. We're sensitive about it. You could have said before the game, you put a press release out as a school or as the coach, being like, hey, we think Brandon is innocent. We don't think he should be legally charged or have anything like that going on with him. But out of respect of the family, the Harris
what if
family,
that's not enough, though?
I mean, it probably won't be enough for everybody.
But what if it's not enough for them? Because like I said, going back to like the Kevin Hart thing, he apologized even before somebody brought it back out. He apologized years before. And then he re-apologized. But then it's like, no, we want you to keep apologizing. Right. And then every show you come on, you got to talk about it. And you got to give a bunch of money So all these organizations, like, and so that's my thing. Like, once you start that thing,
but it's not even an apology though. It's just
well,
like a statement to be like, okay, we know what's going on. We know how it looks. We know he's indirectly involved. We don't think he should be legally charged, but given the facts or whatever, and out of respect for the situation, the sensitivity of it, because a person's life was lost.
Right, yeah.
I think we're just going to sit him out these next 2 games.
Well, I mean, but it kind of like, and we talked about this before, but like when Michael Jackson had settled with the first thing, and he said that was the worst thing he ever did, because when people saw that he was paying money, now whether it was any remote inkling of truth in it, people just gonna come with accusations because it's like we can get paid because he's gonna give us money to settle. And so it's kind of like that idea of once I start showing, oh, I'm gonna sit him out 2 games. Oh, what's 2 games gonna do? Why don't you sit him out? Why don't you deactivate him from the team? And
It's gonna be.
He shouldn't be, because again, like, people are hurt. Yeah. Their daughter's gone. Their sister, their niece, their granddaughter. Like, my friend, like, they want somebody to pay, but that's not gonna bring her back. So whoever it was who pulled the trigger needs to pay. Right. But this idea that anybody, oh, you were in the car, so you need, like, that goes back to like the snitching thing. Like, I was just there. Are you gonna get me for standing there? Are you gonna get me for being in the car? You gonna get me for being at the club? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like one of those things, like, you just want everybody to burn, and that's not right. Because that is the same thing that happened to your daughter. You're going to take innocent people out that didn't have nothing to do with that situation. And so the only people who need to pay is the people who committed the crime against your daughter.
Now, yeah, now
you see what I'm saying? Like, so whoever it was who pulled the trigger, whoever it was that fired the shots, yes, make them pay. But just because somebody was there, somebody was in the car, oh, you own the gun, oh, you had, like, now we just reaching, and now, that's
the people that want Brandon Miller just to burn with Darius Miles or let his basketball career to be over with. Like, those are the one I'm with you on that. There's no way his basketball career should be over, be kicked out of school or be thrown under the jail because he didn't have any direct attachment, whatever, to that. I'm just talking about, kind of the decency of it, as far as, like, whenever you recruit somebody, most coaches be like, okay, I care about the man or the boy. I'm gonna bring your boy back a man, to be accountable, be integral, you know what I'm saying, X, Y, and Z. We know Coach Prime does that a lot.
Right.
So I'm giving, like, if he had a player in that situation, something like that, I think he would, have the kids back, but just the optics of it be like, okay, I'm going to just sit out these 2 games. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like, because you don't like with Kobe. Like, Kobe settled. Now, if you follow that case and you look at some of the stuff they didn't want to put out, he actually made an agreement because they didn't want to go to trial. It wasn't that he didn't want to go to trial. He settled because they didn't want to go to trial.
Right.
And that's what people ain't talking about. He was ready to go to trial because he knew had it went to trial, I'm going to be exonerated, which he should have went. But he was trying to get back to his season. It was embarrassing on his family. It was taxing on his life. I just want this to be over with. But it kept coming back up. Like when he passed, what Gayle King do with Lisa, it kept coming back up. But if he was exonerated, guess what you can say when somebody's exonerated? Oh, you talking about the thing that he was found not guilty of? You talking about the thing that got expunged? What we talking about? You see what I'm saying? So, like, because he settled, though. Oh, he was allegedly. And so now when you make me sit out a game, to a degree, it looks like I'm acknowledging that. Because if I ain't had nothing to do with it, what you sitting out for? If I ain't got nothing to do with it, what am I being penalized for? What are you messing up my draft stock for? What are you messing up our team's chances for? Unless you think that I had something to do, or you're pandering.
Yeah.
But that's all I'm saying. Like, and I get what you're saying. Like, you want to, but I just don't feel like if I'm really in that mode of this guy had something to do with it, get 2 games, 3 games, ain't gonna do nothing for me because I want to see everybody burn.
Right.
So now, if you just want to see me burn, then I'm not giving you nothing.
Right. Yeah, you're not gonna
You
make.
see what I'm saying?
Happy.
But like
Yeah,
that, like so to me,
happy.
that's what I'm saying. Like giving them 2 games, because guess what? When he come back, they still gonna be like murderer. Oh, you da da da. So like, what's
and that's fine.
And he and he probably gonna have to deal with that for a few years.
Right.
So what am I gonna mess this kid's college life up for and everything? Because he gonna have to deal with that anyway. The fact that his name is in the paper, he got to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm not. Now if he come to me, coach, man, I ain't gonna lie. Okay, well then, all right, you know what? Let's. But now if he like, I ain't based on what's being presented. It's more of a he say she say type situation. And it is some sort of, oh, we got this, we got that, but it's not confirmed because he still hadn't been. It's been a month, and he ain't been charged. And you know they be murders, they charging quick.
Oh, but they're gonna slow foot. But get the DA of this whole case. Guess where he graduated from? The University of Alabama. You know what I'm saying? And the police, like I said,
so that's why you think it's kind of.
I think they're going to, because they know he gone after this season. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna come out something soon.
So
as the
basically,
season,
depending on how far Alabama making in the tournament.
Oh yeah,
we got a blue chip situation going on.
Oh yeah,
it's a lock, coach.
Yeah. So
I just watched that movie the other night again. By the way,
it's my movie. I ain't seen it in a while.
Oh yeah, it's on Hulu.
Okay.
Hey, and Alfred Woodard, who was playing Penny's mom in that movie, by the way. That Alfred Woodard from.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I know Alfred Woodard from Blue Chips.
Yeah.
Like she goes up on the list.
She on the list.
Yeah, oh yeah. I forgot. Like she was. Oof. Goodness.
Let's go to this last one before we get to these quickies, man. We actually talked about this when it happened in 2020 about the Malcolm X stuff. It was on a rundown or episode. I'm not sure exactly what happened. How we talked about it at least, but Malcolm X's family is suing. Got a lawsuit against the FBI, the CIA,
and the
NYPD for $100 million. You know,
a milli.
And this has kind of been in the news like the last few years if you've been kind of keeping up with this stuff. And what we've always talked about, we talked about that on that ADL episode we talked about with the director. It was on Breakfast Club and all this stuff with the FBI and how they're kind of in cahoots.
Right. And that was how Reza came back and talked about how it's been shown that they were in cahoots with the FBI and COINTELPRO and different law enforcement agencies to bring down black organizations or black leaders and things of that nature.
So this is kind of the rundown with this. I'm going to read this. It's coming from Time Magazine. On this, it says, the family of civil rights leader Malcolm X marked the anniversary of his 1965 assassination on Tuesday by announcing plans to sue the FBI, the NYPD, and the CIA for $100 million, claiming they concealed evidence related to his murder. So you have a lot of stuff going on. I think you said off camera it was the 2 people that they had in custody prior to, right? They got their reparations or got paid off.
Both of them combined together, it was $36 million.
Together.
Okay. They paid them. So I'm guessing, what is it, $18 million a piece, I guess?
Yeah, if they split it, yeah.
But no, I was reading off camera, but the guy was a NYPD officer named Ray Wood. And he passed not too long ago, but before he died, and he had his cousin release the statement and the letter that he wrote. But basically he said that there was a guy who died in 2009 who was also one of the other people who was falsely accused. That he said they arrested him to cover for him being undercover.
Yeah.
So
and that's the dude that came out. His son came out with a letter that said,
it wasn't his son, it was his cousin. It was a younger cousin, yeah.
He said, don't read this until
I die, right. Yeah. Until I die. And so after he passed that, and he actually was at a press conference with Ben Crump, who was the lawyer representing Malcolm X daughters and Malcolm X daughters, and he actually acknowledged that he was working with the NYPD and the FBI, and that he didn't know that the target was Malcolm X, but he was an undercover officer. And they basically told him to coerce the black leaders or their inner circle into committing felonies. And so 2 of Malcolm X's top security guys, he had got them involved in a plot to blow up the Statue of Liberty. and because they discussed it. Like I don't know if they actually went through putting the bomb, but I know they had a conversation.
Yeah.
And so because they had the conversation, those two guys got arrested. They were over the security for the Audubon Ballroom. Mm-hmm. And they got arrested a week before, so they were still in jail when the Audubon Ballroom situation happened. So they had their guys doing security for the Audubon Ballroom, which is how the killers were able to get in there and assassinate Malcolm. And he said at the time, he didn't know that Malcolm was a target. So, like, he just knew, okay, I'm going to get y'all in this plot or whatever. They got arrested. Yeah. He didn't know that Malcolm was a target until Malcolm got assassinated. And, like, those was the two guys. Oh, and he said they also had him, they told him to be at the Audubon Ballroom. So, you got Malcolm's top two security guys get arrested. And they tell you to be at the place where Malcolm get assassinated. And he said some people actually have reported that they saw him there. Mm-hmm. And he was undercover, which is why they got the other guy. And he ended up doing, all of those years because he got falsely accused.
Yeah, all this stuff has been known information for years. And I was reading that article. In the same article, they said the FBI first opened a file on Malcolm back in 1953. You know what I'm saying? So that's, 12 years before,
like after he got out, right after he got out of jail, right when he first became prominent, I guess.
Yeah, so, this stuff is always going to be out there, but as soon as this stuff is out there and confirmed, it always, gets slipped under the rug or whatever else happens, you know what I mean? But I'm glad at least we're now seeing that, the government and the FBI and other affiliates of those associations, they've never had the best interests.
To quote the great philosopher and poet that I always quote, the great finesse 2 times, it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when we do it.
Yep.
Dude, like, everybody talks about different quote unquote conspiracy theories and stuff. Oh, somebody knew about this, but when it comes to us, y'all try to act like Nick was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like, y'all already know. Like, y'all don't let us do nothing. Y'all don't let us have nothing.
And they very crafty with it.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all say y'all don't want us around, and then as soon as we get our own, y'all either try to buy us out, or if we won't sell, then y'all try to burn us out or kill us out. So, like, let's be real. Like, it is what it is. The greatest nation, country in the whole world was built off forced free labor.
Yeah.
And we have never been as great and will never be as great again, is because you can't force people into free labor. Slavery does not exist anymore. If it did, we would go back to being number one. It's just what it is. Now and I'm glad, but now, it's inhumane and da-da-da. So much so to the point y'all don't even want to talk about it. Y'all want to remove the history because, that affects the way people view. We still talk about why we celebrate the 4th of July. Right. We not enemies with Great Britain no more. We still talk about the War of 1812. Yeah. We still talk about 1836 when we was trying to get Mexico. That's cool. But don't talk about slavery though. That's fake news. Oh, that's divisive. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Oh, we still talk. We remember 9/11. But let's not talk about slavery though. Let's not talk about COINTELPRO. Let's not talk about Ronald Reagan infiltrating, getting crack into the hood in the 80s and everything. Oh, let's not talk about how, they got the Black Panthers, they arrested them and they killed people like Fred Hampton, and they got Bobby Seals and Huey P. Newton in jail. Let's not talk about how, like, we assassinated Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X and Medgar Evers, and we knew about Bobby Kennedy and Robert Kennedy. Like, yeah, I said Bobby and Robert, that's the same person. I mean, Bobby and John.
Yeah, Bobby and John. Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? Like, y'all, like, we know, like, let's stop the cap. Y'all know what happened. Y'all know what's up. So they should get their money. Just like we should get reparations.
Yep.
And guess what? I don't think that unqualified black people should get jobs over qualified white people. Mm-hmm. Not popular. Blow me. I ain't had head in a minute, so.
Like a call for help.
I mean, it's not. I'm just saying, like, I ain't like, but, like, I'm not, black people over everybody. No, I'm just saying, like, if I'm not qualified, give it to the qualified person. But at the same time, like, these billionaires, white people, y'all need to hold these billionaires accountable who are taking the jobs overseas for 15 cents an hour. That's why you ain't got no jobs. It ain't because of my black ass. Yeah. It's because your job is overseas to somebody who doesn't speak English and they're only paying them 15 cents an hour. But like, let's stop it. When they do that stuff, guess what? Malcolm X, it wasn't a conspiracy. They wanted him dead. Martin Luther King Jr. wasn't a conspiracy. They wanted him dead. Medgar Evers, John F. Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, they wanted them dead. Fred Hampton, Huey P. Newton, Bobby C. They wanted them in jail and dead. Assata Shakur, who was Tupac's godmother. Yeah. And I just listened to a thing on her today. Like, they wanted her locked up. Afeni Shakur, his mom, she's in jail while Afeni is pregnant with Tupac. Like, come on, Angela Davis. Like, let's not act like that didn't happen. Mm-hmm. Give Malcolm X's daughters their money.
Give them the money, dog.
And then let's move and heal as a country so we can go forward and be the great, because we're all Americans. Just because my skin is blacker than yours, we're still Americans.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's my piece on it, Bob.
That's what it is. That's a great segue into these quickies. Ricky Roo.
Getting with my boy. Let us take our shirts off so we can show these ladies what a real man looks like.
Yep. What you working with? First one here, man. You know, I know you don't really like to talk about Ye.
I already know your boy. I already knew when you said I didn't really like to talk about it.
You already know what it's on. And Adidas. Mm-hmm. Adidas couldn't live without him. You know what I mean? They were scheduled to lose billions of dollars because, you know, of Ye, and Kanye was about to lose his services. So now I give a thumbs up. I'm smashing that with Adidas and Kanye West getting back together, because when you think about this, they need a black man to help, not even to help, but to go on and be prosperous as a company. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a good thing, man. What say you smashing or passing, man? You got it.
You know what? Because you smashed it, I'm gonna slide you a few dollars so you can go buy a contraceptive. But I'm not. It is fun if the homie can't have none for you, because I'm not trying to get none of that. I feel like I'm always for black people winning. Mm-hmm. I feel like that. Like, it's better ways your billions could be better spent. Because, like, you talking about all this speaking out. Oh, I'm going to speak out against the power and da-da-da-da. Okay, you're in there. You got the money. Why don't you donate some of that money to causes or to communities to uplift? And don't get me wrong. Some of the stuff you're saying is valid. 10% of what you're saying is valid. 90% is BS. And so in between that 90%, you throw in a little nugget of truth. And again, what's true is true. So I ain't mad at you for saying the true stuff. But at the same time, like, you could have been more productive. You could have used that platform and position to elevate and uplift. I'm hard on LeBron, but one thing I applaud LeBron on is he took all his homeboys, he changed lives. He didn't create generational wealth just for himself. He created it for Rich Paul. He created it for Maverick. He created it for the guys that was in the documentary more than the game. Like, all of them dudes winning. Because they knew who, okay, you got the juice, and he made sure everybody was winning. That's the way you do it. You know what I'm saying? The quota Locks line at Jadakiss, as a matter of fact, I'd rather be broke together than rich alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, so either we're going to be broke together or we're going to be out rich together, but I ain't finna blow up and leave the rest of you niggas hanging. So it's easy for you to talk from your position of, I got more than the rest of you niggas. You could have used that money to uplift. And so, again, you're helping Ye out, getting your platform back. And again, if you helping you and your kids, man, more power to you. But my black ass still sitting up here. We ain't doing this full time, and we should be. And that's cool. But, you know, and again, I'm glad if you're getting some money back, then I'm glad for you. But outside of that, I'm going to let you have it.
Salute to Ye. Salute to Ye. Now, this next one is smash our pass. Bronny James is projected top 10 draft pick in 2024.
Here you go. I'm passing it.
I would pass on that too. Cause I think I put a Facebook post about that. I think it's obvious of what's going on here.
Shameless self-promotion. Y'all need to go on. We over 40K. Y'all need to go on and let us.
Yeah.
Y'all need to go on and sponsor.
Yeah, I'll pass on it just because we know what's going on here. This is his daddy's doing, daddy's work.
He's not a bad player, but I haven't seen anything to justify him to be a top 10 pick.
Nah.
And I hate that we are putting this pressure on him because he didn't do nothing. Because if his name was Roche Ragland, nobody would give a fuck.
Yeah,
we only care because his name is LeBron James Jr.
Yep.
And so now he's got, if he really wants it, he's got pressure on him that he did not ask for.
Come with the name.
You know what I'm saying? And like that's the part I hate. Like, because we're sitting up here scrutinizing his game and everything like that. And again, you're in that arena rightfully so, but like, man, he didn't ask for that, man.
Yeah.
You don't want your kid, like, if your son start playing tennis, you don't want them like, oh, not as good as JB.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what, Toby? Not as good as JB. Yeah, your dad was number whatever in the state of Tennessee. You're not right. Like, he just want to play. He might love the game. My granddaddy played the game. My auntie played the game. My daddy played the game. I want to play the game. And they're going to be comparing.
Right.
But now you know what? Because you didn't make it to, you know what I'm saying, the top level.
Right.
He might be Kobe.
Hey, I will welcome it.
And you know what? I'm going to really learn all of the terms and score like the way you and Ty was talking the last time. Because, you know, I was just sitting up here.
Yeah.
I'll be able to get in.
You got to get in on it. Now, this next one here is, you know, I'm just going to say it. D. Wade and his wife, Gabrielle Union, won the prestigious NAACP President's Award for their humanitarian efforts to provide relief to marginalized communities in need of helping to advance racial justice and the LGBTQ equality. And I just put that out there with they're winning the President's Award because then right after that, you know, it was a headline, D. Wade's daughter Zaya now issued a legal name and gets an official gender change, including with a new birth certificate. Okay, so basically they're winning awards when the NAACP for doing things like that, getting the legal name change and official gender change for their still underage, quote unquote, daughter / what was born a son. You know, so even though I said all that, I don't have too many more words for that. I got to pass that. I'll pass it to you. If you
Oh, nigga, that shit went out of bounds.
Yeah.
I mean, like, again, because it's sometimes you all can hear our take on certain things and think that we are against, and we're not against anybody. It's like, oh, y'all don't understand. No. All I'm gonna do is quote Wesley Snipes in White Men Can't Jump, where he was riding in the car and he told Woody Harrelson that you can stick a cat in the oven. That doesn't make it a biscuit, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah.
Preach. What we got?
So I didn't know if you had something else, but so like I was telling you about off camera. So this guy, you know, here Richard Belzer, Law and Order SVU, and the reason why it's interesting because he played on Law and Order SVU. He was Ice-T's partner on the show, like 326 episodes. He recently died, but he played the same character on Law and Order SVU, The X-Files, the show called The Beat, of course, Law and Order Trial by Jury, Arrested Development, The Wire, 30 Rock, Sesame Street, and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. He played the exact same character. He was Detective John Munch on all of those shows. So the character originated on this show called Homicide: Life on the Street, which is like a spiritual predecessor to The Wire, because it was more of a cop version of Baltimore and everything like that. But that's where the character originated, and then the same people who kind of were showrunners of Homicide, they end up doing Law and Order, and they was like, we want to bring that character on Law and Order. And if y'all are familiar with the Law and Order SVU, he was with Ice-T most of the time. Like, they were partners for his, I believe it was like 16 years on the show. He was Ice-T's partner. And so, but it's crazy because he was on all of those shows, and I want to say, I think he was on the episode of New York Undercover too. playing like the same exact. So like imagine like you're JB, like you do a thing on ESPN, like you're JB on ESPN. You go to Skip and Shannon, you're JB. You go to the Game Theory with Bomani Jones, you're JB. Like everywhere you go, it's like you're playing the same dude. You know what I'm saying? They end up putting you in the Avengers movie. And you're JB on the Avengers movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you playing Creed 4. You're JB doing a radio show. It's like they're getting the same. Okay. And so, but the guy's name is Richard Belzer. Like I said, Law and Order SVU. I don't know if you remember the movie Goodfellas.
Yeah.
But it was a scene where they was I think it was the Copacabana. It was like a stand-up comedian doing a bit. But he played like the stand-up comedian doing a bit in Goodfellas. And so he was somebody who over years I saw him. And, you know, anytime like when Betty White passed or our guy Clarence Williams III, who played in Tales from the Hood and the Mod Squad and everything. He was Wesley Snipes' dad in Sugar Hill. Like when we had these celebrities that we watch, you know, that passed. Prez, his family, you know, iconic actor, over 40 years in the business. You know, Law and Order fam. You know, we salute y'all. Ice-T, we want you on the pod. And anybody else from Law and Order SVU, y'all want to be on? Hey, come on. Come on. Shameless self-promotion. We over 40K. Don't play. JB and the Prez all day.
Let's go. Hey, y'all. We
catch us outside. How about that?
Gone overtime per usual. But y'all, until next time, continue with that executive mindset.
And most definitely keep it presidential.
Salute.
Arrivederci. Bow.